day 2 of the International Race Course at the Jim Russell Race School. It's an intensive 5 days covering everything a modern racing driver needs to know on and off the track. Many a real-life champion comes from just such a course, and we've been following 7 hopeful drivers as they strive towards winning their elusive race licence.
David, come here for a second. Day 2 of the course, you're a bit late coming in. How are you feeling this morning? It's an early start today, isn't it?
Oh no, it's time for lunch almost. No, it's a bit late.
Yeah.
Or a bit late from coming in. Looking forward to it again today.
Yeah.
Out of breath. Yeah, looking forward to today. Get some more out of it again.
Suited and booted in their new kit, the students move out for the first of the day's real-life exercises.
How many wheels has a Mercedes C-Class got? Is it 4 or is it 8? In this case, it's 8. And what's that strange contraption on the side of the car? It looks like a very distinctive piece of kit. This could only be Jim Russell's own skid control car. The purpose of this exercise for our pupils is to learn to control the car in very adverse situations, such as front wheel or rear wheel skids.
That was really good fun, really good fun. It's really brilliant, but I was a bit disappointed by my performance. From the karting background, I thought I'd be able to do it a little bit better, but it's quite hard. It keeps on changing the settings as you're going around, so it lifts the car up, so it makes it harder when it skids more. Because it's a road car as well, there's loads of turns, lots of lock, I think it's 3 turns. So if you really got it sideways, you have to go all the way 3 turns sideways. Then the problem was getting the wheel back quick enough in time to do it. But it was really good fun.
The aim of the exercise is just to, so as you appreciate what it's like when the car does go out of control, to appreciate what it's like on the edge of control, so you can appreciate the before and after, if you like. And hopefully you won't get to the after. We're going to get another shot at it now that we're warmed up, get a second chance at it, and take it from there. So I'll see after the second time, see what he feels.
It's fantastic. I like the equipment a lot, because it really gets you going. It really gets the car to oversteer and understeer and all that, which is nice. So you learn to really control it and all that. It's not really, limited. So you can really have fun on the skid pad. You got to learn to be nice and smooth through here, and I mean you can relate it to the racing and all that. So it's hell of a nice.
It's very much a case of walking before you can run, though, for our students as they set out on their first lap of the main training circuit on foot. If this seems frustrating, it is essential, and even the great legends of racing will take a stroll around the circuit to study every little detail. Just as well, then, that racing boots are built to be comfortable.
Anyone know what this circuit is? Obviously not the Grand Prix circuit, is it? It's a little bit on the small side. It's Silverstone Stowe circuit. It was designed about 5 years ago by John Watson, the former Formula 1 driver. Now, it's 0.8 of a mile, and it's unique in this country in as much as it's an anti-clockwise circuit. So you're going to have more left-handers than right-handers. It's a relatively slow circuit. You've got slow corners and medium speed corners. There are no really fast corners here. That means that it's going to be technically challenging. Normally slow corners are technically challenging. Faster corners are challenging to your courage more than they are to your technique at the sort of stage that you guys are at the moment. So from our point of view, a technical circuit is really what we're looking for. And as you can see around it, there really aren't any barriers. We've only got the marshal's posts around there to hit, and if you're very unlucky, you can hit the pit wall here. So there's big runoff areas, so you can afford to push yourselves a little bit harder than if we were on, say, the national circuit, where you've got very inviting gravel traps and tyre barriers, etc. to hit. So really it is an ideal training circuit. How do we decide where to brake? And please, no smart Alex saying we just wait for the brake board, because they won't always be out. So when you're all the way back down there, the first thing you've got to think about is the shape of the corner, isn't it? Yeah? How are we going to pick up the shape of this corner up here? Can anyone even define the corner yet? Can we all see it's a left-hander? It's much greater than 90 degrees. In fact, it's almost a hairpin, really. Okay, so what line will be approaching the corner on? Can somebody? You, sir.
Outside of the race.
Right, where do you think the right-hand wheels of the car would be now?
The right-hand wheel, I'd put it about here.
Okay, anyone else agree with that?
Closer to the white line.
Okay. On the white line.
I wouldn't put it on the white line because it might offer less grip.
Okay. The blue book, which is the RAC manual on how you're meant to drive, is that you're not really meant to drive anywhere but between the white lines. So strictly correctly, you can have your wheel adjacent to the white line, but you may not have it over it. But obviously, we're always trying to take as much advantage as possible, aren't we? We're racing drivers. We want to go as quickly as possible. We know that opening up the corner as much as possible will make us quicker. We'll make the line flatter through the corner. So really, most of you will probably by the end of the week be approaching on the white line. When do you think being on that white line could be a disadvantage? Yeah, you are definitely going to have less grip in the wet on the white line. So you've got to keep off any painted line or painted curb in wet conditions. All right? Okay, so we will be approaching on this line, our right-hand wheel adjacent to the white line, opening the corner up as much as possible. The racing driver positions his car with his peripheral vision whilst he's looking where he's going to be in 2 or 3 seconds' time, and obviously that is going to be the clipping point up here. One thing I've forgotten, how do we come onto the brake pedal when we brake?
Softly applying the pressure gradually.
Yeah, we don't want to slam on the brakes. John will explain this in more detail tomorrow when he does his track briefing with you. When you come onto the brake pedal, you come onto it smoothly and progressively. Okay, we don't want to upset the car when we're working it near to its limit of adhesion. Then between your braking point and your turning in point, so in other words for our purposes between the brake board there and the yellow turning in point here, we want to adopt a constant reduction in speed. We've slowed the car down to the speed that we think we need to have it at. We've selected the correct gear. We've been looking into the corner, refining this picture that we've built up of the corner. Power. We've thought quite carefully about everything else we've done, haven't we? Our line that we take through this corner is related to the shape of the corner. The amount of braking we do is related to the line we're taking through and the entry speed that we're going to take. So everything seems to be sort of related to a little bit of pre-thought, doesn't it? Or based on something.
Start looking through the corner.
That's the first thing you've got to do. Before you apply power, you've got to know where you're going to go, haven't you? Yeah? We all know if we go around a roundabout and we apply throttle, what's going to happen to the car? Does it tuck itself into the corner or does it try and run wider? It tries to go out of the corner, doesn't it? It's going to run on a wider arc. So as soon as you touch the throttle, you're going to be heading outwards away from your clipping point, out to the outside of the track. That's a fact. That's always going to happen. It never tucks in and goes tighter. So, that's the first thing we've got to bear in mind. We need to know how much road we've got on the exit of the corner, don't we? Before we can apply power. And how do we do that? We look there. If at the apex there you apply power and you feel looking out to the green cone out here the car's using too much road, you've effectively accelerated too early. But on the other hand, if you accelerate and you find when you come out of the corner, instead of being adjacent to that white line there, you've got about 2 or 3 feet, you've accelerated too late. And that's really your guide. Where do you think we should position the car as we go down the straight? We're going to be absolutely adjacent to this white line.
After the break, the drivers are split into groups to concentrate on their first lesson in the touring cars. These are the 3-litre V6 Vauxhall Vectras, modified for circuit use with a full roll cage, a race harness and safety equipment. Aspiring Formula One drivers who've opted for single-seaters squeeze into the cockpits for their first few laps around the Stowe circuit in the frantic Formula Fords. Welcome back to the programme, following the progress of a group of hopeful young racing drivers through an international race school. There may well be a few nerves as they take to the Stowe circuit in Vauxhall Vectra touring cars and single-seater Formula Fords.
Leave your bag over on the pit wall. You don't need to bring that round with you. You will need your helmets on though, done up. Make sure you're close enough so your wrist can comfortably rest on the top of the wheel. Alright? When you're driving a saloon car on the circuit, the more upright the back of your seat, the more feel you have for the car. Okay, and obviously the more control you have over the steering if your arms are slightly bent. Alright? Okay. First thing to remember when we're in the pit lane, maximum speed 5-10 miles an hour. There are no records to be broken in the pit lane. Watch out for other cars coming in and out, and most importantly, watch out for people who might be crossing over the pit lane in front of you. So remember, the thing that's most important to remember is that a corner always starts on the exit of the previous corner. So west turn, that's the next one coming up. That is about to start now as we exit north. We know it's a left-hander, so we're going to allow the car to stay on the right-hand side of the track. That will open the corner up for us. Remember what I said when we were walking the circuit? You parallel the white line as close as you can all the way down the back straight. Now west turn is greater than 90 degrees. It also leads in to the S's. So there's going to be a compromise to the exit of the corner. We're not going to allow the car to use all the road on the way out. That means that we're going to turn into the corner a little bit deeper to hold the car tighter on the exit. We've got a braking marker here, which again, this is an initial marker. We'll only be leaving this out for your first session of lapping. The yellow cone is where we're going to be turning in. That's the yellow cone on the right hand side, and then the yellow cone on the inside is our clipping point. So before we've turned into the corner, we've picked up all our markers. We know approximately what we're going to do. The last third of the braking area, we look into the clipping point and turn smoothly and progressively into the corner. Now remember, where the clipping point is a long way away from your turning in point, we turn the wheel more gradually. So it's a very gradual turn into the corner. Before we get to the clipping point, transfer your vision to the exit of the corner, which is effectively here, the middle of the road. You can see on the left hand side your red cone, which is braking, your yellow cone, which is turning in, and your clipping point for the S's. What we're going to do is each of you will drive initially for 5 minutes just to get a feel for the circuit. Then you'll hop out, and then you'll drive later for 10 minutes. We feel the best way, that's really the best way to do it. After 5 minutes you can have a little bit of think about the circuit, and then when you get back in for your 10-minute stint, you should get on a lot better. Okay? Right, Hunter, would you like to go first?
Yep, okay.
Gently feed the power on right out to the outside of the corner. Okay, west turn coming up. Greater than 90 degrees, remember? Track drops away a little bit from you as you turn in. Also remember, turn with a gradual application of lock. There's your braking point, your turning in point, and your clipping point on the inside. That's a good gear change, good. Look into the corner. You looked in a little bit late there. Touch slow with the application, but that was good that you did that. Into the middle of the road, back to the left, hold that lock, good. Then brake, look into your clipping point. Now remember here, don't accelerate, hold the car to the right, but look to your left. Look to your left. Look to the exit. Good. Now steady, look at the shape of south. Brake now. Look in. Look to the clipping point. Look to the exit. Brake. Third gear. Look into the corner. Look in. Balance the throttle. Don't move your hands around the wheel. Look to the exit. Pull the car back over to the left hand side. A little bit too wide. Brake. Look into the clipping point though. Look in. There it is. Okay, yeah, you turned a little bit early, and you notice how you then had to add lock at the clipping point.
Right.
If you turn in early, you invariably have to add lock at the clipping point so you don't exit the corner early. So next time we need to take the car a little bit deeper.
We've been having lessons about how to go around the corners. It was interesting to actually see the instructor drive around the corners. And when he speeded up, I was actually quite nervous because the car's weight shifts to the outside, just like they explained in the classroom.
He just wore us in gradually, really. He wasn't going to go too fast or anything like that. Just so we could actually understand it and to take things in. It was going to go so quickly, you know. He wouldn't be able to explain it to us in such detail like he did.
The reason you don't shuffle the wheels is exactly this. Close your eyes, okay, shuffle the wheels to the left. Shuffle the wheels. Keep going. Okay, stop. Don't open your eyes and straighten the wheel. He's not really sure, is he? Yeah, and it's taking him a long time. Now, keep your hands in one position. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, straighten the wheel. Simple as that. You don't have to think about it. The less you have to think about the steering wheel, the more you can think about going around the track. If we show a yellow flag, that means obviously there is a problem somewhere. So if you see a yellow flag, nice and cautious, go past the yellow flag, go past the incident. Once you've gone past the incident, you're just ready to resume speed. And the objective is, so you're on your own, you're not with the instructor now telling you where to go, but we're going to build you up to speed gradually. Remember, what we don't want you to do is go too fast too soon. The faster you go, the sooner you go fast, yeah, the more difficult it is for us to slow you down and get you to do the right things.
You can always learn something new and brush up on your skills and all that. I've learned a little bit about the steering wheel, the way I hold it and the way I take my lines and all that. It's a little bit smoother, using the power properly, using the corner properly, as well as the weight in the car. So I've learned a hell of a lot, and it's good. I'm getting a lot of practice here now, so it's great.
Well, there seems to be a lot to take in, but once you come out, try and get it intuitively. It seems to come together. Well, it seems to up to now anyway, hopefully.
For the students' first time out on the circuit in the Formula Fords, they're restricted to 4,000 revs. This limit will be increased as the drivers grow in confidence and ability throughout the course, but there's still plenty of excitement to be had as they start up and head off for their first experience of single-seater track action.
Cut the engines, wait for debrief. Cut the engines, stay in the car, please. Do you understand English?
The wave yellow flag went out. None of them came through first, took any notice. Then some took notice. I mean, car 28, 3 times came by me.
You bolted out of here like you flat out of hell. You almost knocked the mechanic over. Lads, you must think about what you're doing, you know, it's a very dangerous sport, please.
We had a situation where a car lost control on the S's, and yellow flags are obviously very important for the safety of the instructor out there because we don't have a lot of marshals out. So it's his life at risk to teach these guys how to race. And if he's not listening to what he should be doing, we've got to take him in and get it through their heads exactly what's going on, who's in charge, all right? Because at the end of the day, it is a very dangerous sport. So they've got to respect what they're doing. That's basically it, all right? So we're going to have a quick chat with them and send them back out.
Okay, so that you've got your foot on the brake, and when you go to press the clutch, flip the throttle once, and you just get a peak of engine revs, you know? You just get the revs going whoom and then off, rather than woo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's going to take some practice.
Pippa, practice makes perfect. What was the instructor saying to you there?
I just have to perfect my heel and toe. I wasn't doing it so well this session. I've been holding my accelerator on too long, so I've been effectively asking the car to brake and accelerate at the same time. So I've got to figure that out next time.
Yeah, at the moment it's like buying a sort of Dotter magazine, isn't it? Join the number though. You're joining the brake to the turning in cone to the clipping point, and then you're meant to be looking half a corner ahead all of the time.
So there were a few problems there, it seems, from the feedback from the instructor. What was he saying?
Basically, I'm hitting the brakes far too hard at the brake board and turning in too early.
I need to do my gear downshifts a bit quicker, and at that north corner up there I need to think about the corner more before I actually reach it.
Day 2, the guys have been through skid control, lapping, personal tuition, and they've just done their ARDS course. So how was it for everyone?
Hard.
Yeah? What was hard about it, Darren?
About what, the
whole day?
Just a lot to learn really.
Yeah.
A lot to learn, but enjoyable day anyway.
And what about you, Pippa? You've been smiling all day. How's your day been?
It's been good, really good. I've loved it. Learned quite a lot. I had my first spin. It set me back a little bit, but it's good. They helped me afterwards. I think it was cold tyres, so I've experienced about that now.
Sarah, you tucked down in the corner there. Why are you hiding away? What's happened to you today?
I've had a couple of big slides around the north end, but I've actually started improving now, so I actually started picking the speed up around the corners because I was kept on jumping on the brakes a bit hard.
Right. Do you all know what's on the agenda for tomorrow?
Lots of racing.
Lots of
Hopefully.
racing?
Yeah. Lots of in the car time.
Lapping. Yeah, lots of lapping.
Lots of lapping.
Yeah.
Plenty of it.
Yeah. Well, I think the guys have done extremely well. It's been a long day. You've had a really full day. Reckon you need to go home, get some rest, and come back tomorrow bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. See you tomorrow.
See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
All the best.
Next week, our students learn to push their limits on the track and in the classroom as they continue to work towards that ultimate prize, the coveted race licence.